My name's Tanya Frank, and I'm a mother of two sons, and I'm an author. And my book is called Zig-Zag Boy, a memoir of motherhood and madness. So in 2009, my youngest son, Zach, he started withdrawing. He came home one day and seemed very, very suspicious of everybody and even of me. And also, he was trying to reroute the phone system in our laundry room, which had actually been defunct for many, many years. I realised as the night went on that he was really just so fearful and so distressed. And I didn't know what to do. I'd never really experienced anything quite like this before. The next day, when he still was in quite an altered state and hadn't eaten and hadn't slept, and was just really pacing, I actually went with him to the emergency room. He was a scholar at UCLA at the time, and he had a merit scholarship, and he'd been working very hard. He'd probably had a lot of sleepless nights, and I know he was having some sort of academic stress and a few girlfriend worries, but it was still quite unexpected. At that time, I think, like most mothers, it's the last thing that you would want to anticipate for your son or daughter to enter, what was commonly known as psychosis, really, a psychotic break. It took a huge amount of getting through it. And I must say, I think I'm still actually working my way through it, even now, 13 years on. I've come back to England, which is the country where I was born and where my two sons were born, looking for kind of more compassionate care, and for groups that are a little more radical in terms of their approach, that see psychosis more as a process rather than a disease. And also here in the UK, I do have family, and I have very long-term, friends from when I was much, much younger. In the United States, I found an elephant seal colony in Northern California called Año Nuevo. I trained to become a docent, and I was completely off the grid there. I couldn't speak to anybody. I couldn't hear from my son. And it was the one time where I was forced to really try and just be with myself and find myself and forge a new identity. And I think that helped me a lot. There are some things that you just cannot control and that you have to let go. And letting go is probably one of the most painful things that I had to do, and that I am still doing. And some days I do it a little bit better than other days. I tried for many years to think that I would find the right medicine, the right doctor, the right therapist, the right program. Over the years, I've realized that I can't do that. And I can hold on to hope that one day my son might have a more independent life, and a life with more moments of joy, because I do believe he is still struggling and still suffering, and that's really hard for me to witness now as much as it was 13 years ago. But I think I've realised that my life has to go on, and I have to keep myself strong and well as much as I can, because I'm his rock. I think one thing that really helps is finding your kin. And I belong to a group called Safely Held Spaces, which is composed of other mothers like myself. And that feels really affirming, to not be alone in it. Try and take care of yourself in all of it is important, because, I think that as a mother, we are conditioned to try and cure everything. For me, writing was a way of trying to make sense of the chaos and to give it some order. The writing was definitely a therapeutic, much more therapeutic than I could ever have acknowledged at the time. And also just being with your person, just really, rather than doing to them and finding the answers, but just listening and trying not to be scared.